Hello and welcome to today's Tabletop, and today I will show you the biggest bolt action game I've ever played on a 3v3 and on a big beautiful board. I've been gone for a while, but I was painting minis like a maniac, and today I will show you this amazing 3v3 that took us roughly 12 to 14 hours to play, and I will bring this to you in, I think, 6 parts, I think 6 rounds of the game. And let me give you the overview over the map and what we were planning to do here. A friend who started a couple of weeks or months ago, Steve, he came up to play maybe Market Garden with what we have. So the Allies starting to invade Holland and Belgium to bring a quick end to the war. This is where we're gonna play, and everybody brought what he had. We had a lot of newcomers, so Felix, I think, is roughly 18 or 20. So he did buy recently his German army, and a lot of new players that started with a German army. And so today I will bring my Americans, Berkan will bring his French, and not historically correct, but Michel brought his Russians. That's the only force he has right now. He's building up a British Desert Reds army, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, we wanted to play a cool map, and we want to bring the armies we had. And this is my American army, and I will give you the introduction in a second. Let me first show you around the board. So here we start. So I think these are a couple of tables and 2 playmats, and this is what we have. And so in this direction we have a beautiful chateau with a garden, and here the idea was that it's like idyllic terrain, whatever, maybe for tank battles, which they will happen here. And here there will be a mission where you have to hold the house. If you're inside the house, you get the wine. That's like the bonus mission. And yeah, but the first mission is to detonate the bridges, the bridgeheads. The German get 5 points for detonating the bridgehead. As you can see here, there are some yeah, these craters here are where the Germans have to detonate the bridge. You go there, you have to go give a down order, and then next turn on a 4-up, it will explode. But we as the Allies have to try to stop that. Then there is the village in the middle, and here we have a beautiful scenery. This is from the long table edge. Yeah, it's pretty big. And yeah, I'm just showing you around. And inside the town, there are 2 town squares, or there's 1 town square and this ruin. And if you hold both of the points, you get extra points. And yeah, this is the terrain, and it's pretty cool. As you can see here, the suitcase. If you have a lot more units around this place, you get the points. And if you're holding both the fountain here and that, then you're holding the city, and that gives additional points. And yeah, and this part is also very beautiful. So you have the very dense city center, and then you have this kind of suburban part of the city where again you can breathe a little with your units. And let's get to the units themselves. So I will give you an overview. I think Michael has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18 dice. So he has the most dice with his Russians. He brings a KV2, armor 10 plus, and this shoots an HE4. The tank is slow. Then this one is a little car with a LMG, only 2 shots. This one is pretty cool. I think has a light anti-tank gun, and a coaxial MMG, then a transport. As you can see, MMGs, mortars, um, a bunch of inexperienced troops, really big, with commissars and all of that stuff. And then I think 2 times Siberian, yeah, as you can see here, these are Siberian veterans with body armor and 2 flamers in them. Then there's Berkan and his force, and I think also around, well, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 order dice. So I was on the low end, but yeah, 14 order dice and a couple of French tanks. I have to say they did a lot because most of them have AT guns and howitzers. Like this one, I think has a light AT gun and a howitzer, so it's not bad. It's good, and they will do a lot. This one is a 10 plus armored, and he brought more of a gunline army, a medium anti-tank gun, a heavy howitzer, and then a couple of regular dudes. And I think these ones are inexperienced with tough fighter. Then these ones are veteran. This one are veterans, and then a sniper, the French air observer who can strike twice, and yeah. And then comes my American force, and it's a bit like the Fury force. It's the, yeah, as you can see, I have a Sherman here, an Easy 8 here, a Hellcat, and then I think these are 9-man regular army. Then I have an 8-man team Rangers with an LMG, some SMGs, and a BAR, pretty mixed bag. I got these guys are regulars commanders. I think these guys are inexperienced for the heavy weapons platoon. And I got rangers, army, paratroopers, and here again rangers. And the rangers are really cool with their 12-inch move before the game starts. And here an MMG, a mortar, and this is just a normal transportation jeep for my rocket launcher. Then we have Felix's forces, and I have to say, yeah, before we started, we arranged that we would bring 650 points of armored armored things like tanks and all of that stuff. Yeah, the armored platoon 650 points and 750 points of infantry platoon because we just wanted to have a bit of fun and play a bit thematic. And so we streamlined a bit the process or gave the event a frame. And so as you can see here, I think this must be 650 points of armored. And then you can bring 650 points of infantry, which means you can also bring a heavy weapons platoon, or a transport or something like that. But yeah, and here we have I think these guys are veterans, because some of the German players are building their forces and painting them. They play everything as veterans because, as you can see, they haven't painted up yet everything. But it doesn't matter. We wanted to have fun. This is Steve's force. I think 2 transports. One is the Hummel, one is the normal Hanomag, and then he brings a Panzer II Lux, a Panzer Ace Panther, which is pretty scary because this has already a 7 plus armor penetration, and now it goes up to an 8 plus armor penetration. And the Panther in the front has an armor 10, and everywhere else it's an armor 9. He brings a Puma. I didn't see the Puma for a long time because in version 2 it was a bit expensive, but I think now it's 150 points, and it's a solid, I would say, tank vehicle. Yeah, it's armor 8, and it has a 5 plus anti-tank gun. It has recce. It is a solid, yeah. And I think these ones are all veterans. Somewhere here, there are also, I think these guys are Brandenburgers. So they have the special rule behind enemy lines, so they don't get the negative -1 for outflanking, but they also give something like sabotage. So if I want to outflank, I get an additional -1 for outflanking, which I'm American, I don't care. Just one, but if somebody else wanted to outflank, he would now face a -2 for outflanking. And then he brings, I think, a Panzerfaust and some, yeah, natural. These guys are unexperienced with 2 LMGs, pin machines, and what else? Then we have Mario's force, and he's bringing, I think this guy is a Panzer Ace. Then we have a Panzer Ace Hetzer. Like the German Panzer Ace is pretty amazing. It's also pretty scary. The Hetzer, and then we have here the Panzer IV, Panzer Ace, and we have here a Stu 42 HE3, and this guy armor 9, 6+ penetration, but because his Panzer Ace goes up to a 7+. And as you can see, Mario's minis always beautifully painted, and I think we have 3 squads of regular dudes with an LMG, and then we got one 8-man squad with all assault rifles and maybe 1 or 2 sacrificial rifles, or maybe 3. And then we got an MMG, a mortar team, a heavy mortar team with a spotter, and a bunch of officers. Yeah, and here this is in detail the force. Mario lent me his Sherman tank. Here's the Fury Sherman. Again, this one is armor 9, medium AT, so 5+ pen. Then here we have armor 9, but the Easy 8 has the 76mm, so it's 6+ penetration. And then we have the Hellcat, and the Hellcat is open-topped, armor 7 with 6+ armor penetration. I think they mount the same gun. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. Then here's my officer. These are my Perry miniatures. I painted up. I think the Perry miniatures are pretty cool. Maybe went a bit too far with the chipping of the metal of the helmets. I will maybe go over that with some green again. Then here are my Rangers, veteran Rangers. Then here is my US Army regular. I think they have all just rifles. Those were supposed to be my backline holders. And then we have another squad of US Army Rangers, a 9-man squad, pretty big, but I wanted them to be very durable. And then we have an 8-man team of Rangers, again with mixed loadouts. These guys have 2 SMGs, 1 BAR, 1 LMG, and 3 rifles. Like pretty mixed bag, but I did just play what was painted and what I liked to play, so that's why they are so mixed. And then I have an 8-man team of paratroopers. Again, usually I don't go all veteran, but this time I wanted to have a bit of a thematic force, just a tiny bit, and 1 BAR, 3 SMGs, and the rest is just rifles. And then, of course, MMG team. Then these guys are inexperienced, I guess. And then a mortar team. And then my bazooka in a jeep, and that's it. Berkant's tanks, I would love to tell you the name of these tanks, but one is a Char, one is a Somua. This one I don't know really, and I can't recall the name of this one. I should, but if you want to go and play French, just go watch it, or maybe I will learn it through playing against these a bit more. Again, heavy howitzer, medium anti-tank gun, and then some very beautiful troops. I don't know which troops these are, but they have tough fighter, and they are pretty cheap, inexperienced. So inexperienced tough fighters. These were meant to charge something and just kill the enemy. And here is a small squad of anti-tank rifle, then a small squad of SMG guys. And here I call this guy Revolver Ocelot, but who knows? Like, this is a French officer. One time he got blown away, so he got a new mini, upgraded mini with just one arm and one eye. And these are the French forces with sand dice. I like that very much. And here are the Russian forces. Again, I don't know this. I think this is a BA 80 maybe. This car, I don't know. The KV2 um, about to shine in this 3v3. And then a bunch of inexperienced troops, commissars. And yeah, pretty great stuff. So the Russians, as usual, with a lot of dice and a lot of men. Medium, small mortar, or how do you call it? Yeah, the small mortar, pretty handy, and then some really cool troops. And here are the Siberian veterans with a body armor. These are unfortunately slow. They move just 6 inches, which is good for the enemy. But if you're playing these guys, you need definitely a transport. You need to deliver these guys to the destination, disembark these guys, and hose down something like with their SMGs and with their flamers, or else they won't do much. Then these are the forces of Felix, the newest player, and he brought a Kübelwagen, a Hetzer, a Panzer III, the Decker Panzer III, and a bunch of veterans with assault rifles, and yeah. I think the German Grenadier box, more or less. Mario's troops, I already showed you. Um, yeah, he picked the green dice because Felix already had the gray dice. And yeah, beautifully painted. And yeah, the tanks this day on this 3-3 would be would do very curious things. That one thing I will say. And what else? Yeah, these are Steve's forces. I think everything is veteran. Only these guys are inexperienced. And this also veteran. And yeah, let me show you. These guys are the Brandenburgers, so they are fanatical. They don't care how many pins they get. They will always fight on. And I think we get to deployment. Yeah, let's do that in the next video. So I will see you in part 2.